All right, a quadratic function is decreasing on the domain minus infinity to minus 3 and increasing on the domain 3 comma infinity. Then the y value of the vertex represents a blank. So, if you have a graph would be good here. 3 is the, well, that's terrible. That's, there's the correct, there's 3. So it's, and we don't know where the vertex is exactly, but let's just say it's there, decreasing and increasing. Okay, so the y value, they're asking about this. They're basically saying, is it a min or is it a max?
Uh, Alright, so in this case, then it would be if decreasing from negative infinity to 3, then that means it would be a minimum.
It would be a minimum. Good. Okay. So the fact that it's decreasing and increasing is important here. If it were flipped, like the graph could look like that, and then it would be the other.
Yeah, so then you would basically you could basically tell by in the increasing and decreasing,
Right,
because if the
right.
increasing starts at negative infinity, then it's the maximum, and if the increasing starts at like the y value, then it's the uh, got it. So in this case, it'd be a minimum. Another one that I have a question on. All right. I don't know if the uh I don't have questions on these, but I think we should probably do more practice on it because it seems to be what drilling more on practice on it.
Okay, we got 4 problems here. Let me all right, yeah. So we were doing completing the square the other day. We
Yeah,
definitely need to be able to do these. Okay, let me run through these. Um,
yeah. I feel like I know how to do them, but I just need a little more practice because sometimes I do like ones that's wrong than it kind of.
well, there's a couple ways to do it. There was the way I was showing you the other day. Sometimes the teachers are okay with you just finding the vertex and then doing it that way. But the correct way to do it is to set this equal to 0 and to move the constant to the other side of the equation. like this,
I
and then you
got it.
leave a
Cause
space.
yeah, because I thought that you would wait, so let me see what I did for that one. So I factored out three
Yes, you
and
factor
then
to
did it.
three, and
Yeah.
then and this is where you complete the square with what's
E
inside parentheses.
yeah, I put 3 parentheses x squared minus 2x and then left the blank. And then after the parentheses minus 3 plus 4. I didn't put any another equal
So
sign.
the progression for me when I show this to students is you work down and then back up, and then you fill this in. So like right now, this line on the left at the bottom here is not equivalent to the above line because we have to fill in what goes here. And the thing that goes in the box here comes from the previous line, which is not equivalent to this line.
Got it.
So like what goes back here is +1 because it's the -1 squared. Then you're multiplying everything by 3. So that gives you a +3 +3. That's where it comes from. Now there's other ways to do this. So like this is not the only way. You got to move this one back by going back over here. So because 3x minus 1 squared plus 1 f of x equals like that.
Got it.
So why don't you try 11 is the most similar to this one. So why don't you try 11 on your own here? I'll leave this one up. Okay.
Mm, so, all right, I got g of x equals 4 parentheses x plus 8x
Right, so
squared.
notice that there's just one x inside parentheses. So it'd be x plus 8 squared like that.
God. Yeah. So, oh, so you factor out the, like, well, yeah. So then it'd be,
Right, and then what number goes here?
minus
So
70.
sorry, no. This isn't right. It should be a 4. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, it's, uh, uh, 4, yeah. Well, then, it'd be minus 70.
Minus what?
Minus 70.
Minus 70. 16 times 4 doesn't work. So yeah, let's look at this together here. Plus 70 equals 0. So you subtracted the 70 over, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get 4x squared plus 32x, leave a space. Then you factor out the 4. Okay. X plus 4 squared. Okay, so then 16 goes here. Do you see where that comes from? And then you multiply in plus 64 like that.
Wait, so you do half of 8 squared, right?
Yeah, so half of 8 goes down there. That's 4. But then you square it to go here. But then
Yeah.
because you factored out a 4, you have to multiply that back in to get back to the previous
So you
line.
multiply it. Oh, they need to add the 70 to, or the add 64 to both sides. So then,
Yeah.
yeah. I think I did something similar like that for number 10, where, oh, you didn't put the equal sign. Anyways,
So it equals minus 6, and then you add 6 to get it back to the other side.
got it.
Okay. Um, let's do 12. 12's a little odd, but it's actually easier than the other ones. It's in an odd format. So like it's already equal to 0. It already has this base that's 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 there that you're trying to fill in. Okay. Um, there's nothing to factor out. So you just take half of -4, x minus 2, like that, squared. So that becomes +4 plus 4 because of -2 squared is 4.
Got it. And then you would, yeah, so you already have, minus 4 on both sides, and then you get x minus 2 squared minus 4.
That's right. Perfect. Okay. Now 13 is more like 10 and 11. So the way I've been showing you is you move that constant over to the other side of the equation. All right. And then you have to factor out a -1 like that.
Got it.
And now you take, and this is where this one's a little bit, more difficult because this is not an even number, it's odd. So it's 7, take half of 7. So it's x plus 7 divided by 2 squared. So now what goes back here is the square of 7 over 2. You have to go back into this position as 7 over 2 squared, which is 49 over 4. And then what I've been trying to show you, and I guess I've not been doing a very good job, but like all the lines are equivalent. So if you distribute the -1, you get negative x squared, -1 to 7x, you get negative 7x. So that's where it becomes minus 49 over 4. Like usually it's positive, but because of that, it's negative. And then you have to make a common denominator here. So it's minus 40 over 4, minus 49 over 4 is minus 89 over 4. And then you add that to the other side. And sometimes they just don't work out nicely. They're not always whole numbers.
Got it. Yes, in this case, you get like a ton of fractions when you try to.
I'm gonna be right back with you. I know you gotta grab some more problems, or I can make up some more if you want. It would be good for you to try a few on your own. Do you want me to give you one to try, or
Yeah,
okay, let me give you one here. That's not too bad. Let's go g of x, negative x squared minus 8x plus 17. Be right back with you. All right, Karthik, let me know if you have any questions on this. How are you doing on this one?
Um, Still
Okay.
working.
Yeah, take your time.
All right, I got negative x plus 4 squared plus 17.
It's almost never the same number here. And so this part looks okay. But what my guess is, and let me just yeah, you set it equal to 0. You have to move that to the other side of the equation. So minus x squared minus 8x equals minus 17. Factor out the negative, x squared plus 8x, leave a space. Okay. So I know how you got that's right here. That's for sure. Now what goes back in this position?
That would be 16 because it's 4 squared.
Plus 16. And then the negative distributes to everything. So what goes back into this position up above?
Negative 16.
And that has to go to the other side as well. That's what I think you're leaving off.
Um, yeah, I don't think I did the minus 16 on both sides. I think I just did it on the left side, not the right side. So then, yeah, it would be negative. It would be positive 33 then.
You want me to give you another one to try like this
Yeah,
or variation of this? Okay. So this one's gonna have some fractions in it. Let's go f of x equals let's go 2x squared plus 6x um plus 9.
I got f of x equals 2 times x, or 2 parentheses x minus 9/4 squared plus 9/2.
Okay, I think you did some things too early here. Uh, so it is 2 factored out, 3x, leave a space here. So you take half of whatever this number is. What is this number?
Half of that number would be negative,
3 over 2.
yeah, 3/2.
So you always cut that in half, and you don't square it, you just cut it in half.
I thought you would
Okay.
square it.
Well, you square it going backwards.
Uh,
That's when you square. So that's 9 over 4.
yeah, I can start to see where they're
Yeah,
I put 9
and
over
then
4, like
you have to distribute everything. You have to multiply everything by 2. So 2x squared, 2 times 3x is
it,
6x, 2 times 9 over 4 is 9 over 2. And that's what you add to both sides. A little fraction work here. This is minus 18 over 2 plus 9 over 2. It ends up being minus 9 over 2. And then you add that back to the other side here. So um, this one's tough. I mean, when you got fractions and all that stuff, but the thing that you're missing, and that's really the key, it's half. Half is what goes in here. You square it to go back in here. And if there's a number out in front, whether it's 2 or -1 or whatever, and you multiply in, that's where you get back to some of this. So let's try another one. You really got to be able to get through this. Like that's you're gonna get some problem like this on your test. Okay. So let's see if we can find one here. Let's say p of x, we'll just go -x squared minus 4x plus 5. Now let me make that -5 equals 0. Well, just leave it like that. Okay, so give this one a try, please. We'll go back to the negatives. How are you doing on this one?
Um, 13 minutes still. I'm
Okay.
almost done. Just got stuck in one real quick. All right, I got negative x plus 2 squared minus 1.
That is correct. Very good. So make sure, that it's that whole, half and then square thing you get down. You want to do another one, or do you have some other problems you'd like us to work on today?
Makes you quickly. Yeah, right. I want to get rid of this one. Let me take a screenshot. So this is from the vertex form of quadratic functions lesson.
Okay. Getting things kind of settled here. There we go. Which function represents the parabola with the widest graph? Okay. I guess we can do it this way. So because there are two questions here they could ask. They're asking about the widest. So the uh it gets wider when the a value is between 0 and 1. Okay. But sometimes that's confused with the sign. Okay. Um, so the a value in the first problem is 2, right? Letter A. The a value in the first one is, or in B is 1. The a value in the third one is 0.5. Okay. And the a value in the last one is -1. Is that okay, clear?
Okay, so
So this is the wider, and then this is, I don't know, I want to say narrower, we'll say. So the one that's closest to 0 is the widest,
got it. So in this case it would be C.
will be C. Now, what if there was option E, which was -0.25, x plus 1 squared minus 3, okay? So you ignore the sign. You don't care about the sign. You ignore it. You just look at that value. So even if it opens down, it can still be wide.
Got it.
Okay. You can also do the narrowest. So a greater than 1. So let's just say you have, here's your classic problem is like 2x squared, 3x squared minus 5x squared. Okay. Again, you ignore the sign and you just look for the biggest a. So this is the narrowest of them all. And what I mean by that, we're talking about like the I don't know, the distance between it, sort of.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Let me see if there's something. Um, yeah, so I don't think I have any more like questions that we need to go over, but we need some more practice. I think we'll just do that.
Let's do another completing the square. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, so let me have you try this one here. 3x squared plus 9x um, minus 1/4. So go ahead and give this one a try, please. I'm gonna jump in here. You can follow along or look later, but make sure you get this result in.
Yeah, I got the same thing.
Excellent, excellent, really good. So if you have time, definitely be good to redo any of those problems you did earlier. The